Hello, my name is Kenny Gibson. I'm a Regional Literacy Coordinator with the Mississippi Department of Education, Office of Elementary Education and Reading. Our literacy focus of the month and action for the month of October is vocabulary. First, let's view the State Board of Education's vision and mission. The vision: to create a world-class educational system that gives students the knowledge and skills to be successful in college and the workforce, and to flourish as parents and citizens. The mission: to provide leadership through the development of policy and accountability systems so that all students are prepared to compete in the global community. Now, let's look at the State Board of Education goals. The board has developed a 5-year strategic plan to include all students proficient and showing growth in all assessed areas. Every student graduates high school and is ready for college and career. Every child has access to a high-quality early childhood program. Every school has effective teachers and leaders. Every community effectively using a world-class data system to improve student outcomes, and every school and district is rated C or higher. Our session goals for today are to state the purpose of the literacy focus of the month, define vocabulary and its importance to literacy, identify the college and career readiness standards that address vocabulary, discuss ways that students learn new vocabulary through indirect and direct instruction, examine the steps of an explicit vocabulary routine. The literacy focus of the month purpose. The purpose is to provide guidance to administrators and teachers for supporting a monthly, school-wide instructional focus based on best practices and research-based strategies in literacy. The literacy focus of the month for October is vocabulary. Let's define vocabulary and its importance to literacy. Vocabulary is the knowledge of words and word meanings. However, knowing the definition is not enough to have vocabulary knowledge. How a word fits into the world and is therefore used in the correct context is also vocabulary knowledge. Vocabulary knowledge is important to reading comprehension. Knowledge of individual word meanings accounts for as much as 50 to 60% of the variance in reading comprehension. By not having sufficient knowledge of the words being read, readers are unable to gain meaning from what is read. From about third grade on, 95% of students can read more words than they can define or explain. Vocabulary knowledge is also important to effective communication. When your working memory is not loaded with hesitation about the contextual use of words, you can concentrate fully on higher-level aspects of language, such as using precise sentence structure and appropriate expressions. Let's identify the Mississippi College and Career Readiness standards that address vocabulary. Vocabulary is addressed in several standards. Anchor Standard 4 for reading states that students should interpret words and phrases as they are used in a text, including determining technical, connotative, and figurative meanings, and analyze how specific word choices shape meaning or tone. Anchor Standard 4 for language states that students should determine or clarify the meaning of unknown and multiple meaning words and phrases by using context clues, analyzing meaningful word parts, and consulting general and specialized reference materials as appropriate. Anchor Standard 5 for language states that students should demonstrate understanding of figurative language, word relationships, and nuances in word meanings. Anchor Standard 6 for language reads that students should acquire and use accurately a range of general academic and domain-specific words and phrases sufficient for reading, writing, speaking, and listening at the college and career readiness level. Demonstrate independence in gathering vocabulary knowledge when encountering an unknown term important to comprehension or expression. Let's discuss ways that students learn new vocabulary through indirect and direct instruction. Although some vocabulary should be taught directly, students learn most new vocabulary indirectly through conversations with adults, being read to, and reading widely on their own. Compelling research suggests that reading aloud to students of all ages is beneficial to vocabulary acquisition. Reading aloud is particularly helpful when you pause during reading to define an unfamiliar word and engage your students in a conversation about the book after reading. Students should engage in independent reading. In order to encourage independent reading, you should provide a well-stocked classroom library with a variety of genres, levels, and sources. Also, you should schedule a daily time for students to read independently. If your students read an average of 3.2 minutes per day, then they will read 200,000 words per year. By increasing the average time reading to 9.6 minutes per day, the number of words read increases to 622,000. By providing an average of 21.1 minutes per day of independent reading, you will allow students to read 1,823,000 words per year. This provides students with a significant number of opportunities to learn the meanings and usage of new words. Engaging students in meaningful conversations is one way that you can increase their exposure to new words. As a teacher, you can guide conversations about books that you have read. You may also have conversations with students during lunch. Getting to know your students and them getting to know you is an added bonus. Also, include $10 words in your classroom conversations. Being purposeful in your word choice throughout the day will allow you to expose students to additional words that they may not be able to hear in conversations elsewhere. Put Reading First notes that students learn vocabulary directly when they are explicitly taught both individual words and word learning strategies. Direct vocabulary instruction aids in reading comprehension. Direct instruction of vocabulary includes opportunities to engage students in word consciousness activities, teach and practice word learning strategies, and provide direct, explicit instruction on carefully selected vocabulary. Students need to become conscious of how words work and ways they can use them. Word consciousness is simply an interest and awareness of words. As a teacher, you must explicitly teach word relationships. These relationships will allow students to develop awareness of words, enjoyment of words, playfulness with words, interest in words, appreciation of words, and satisfaction in using words well. Many words have more than one meaning. Students should be taught to discover the dictionary meaning that fits the context of the word being learned. Too many times, students just want to find the meaning that is listed first. However, students must recognize that words have different meanings based upon the context in which they are being used. An awareness that some words are connected or related due to the category in which they can be grouped. List group label is a great strategy that can be used to allow your students to brainstorm words and sort them based upon their knowledge of a topic. Antonyms can be complementary or gradable. Students need to be conscious of the relationships that antonyms hold. Complementary antonyms have an either-or relationship, hot, cold. Gradable antonyms have variations along a connected line of words from opposite ends. Poetry is a great activity that can allow students to become conscious of certain words. Words that aren't synonyms or antonyms can have common features. Students can identify the features in order to gain a better understanding of the word. By better understanding the characteristics of vocabulary words, students are conscious of nuances in meaning and are therefore better at choosing the correct words to convey their meaning. Students must be taught strategies to use when they encounter unknown words while reading independently. Students need to learn between 2,000 and 3,000 words per year, and we can't directly teach each one of those words. Students must have the skills to attack the word on their own and determine the correct meaning. Students must be explicitly taught how to use context clues. There are 5 types of context clues: definition or explanation clues, restatement or synonym clues, contrast or antonym clues, inference or general context clues, and example clues. You can create an anchor chart to scaffold students for when they encounter an unknown word. When you come across an unfamiliar word in your reading, look for words or phrases that may be clues or hints to the word's meaning. First, look for the clues in the sentence that contains the word. Then, if you need to, look for clues in the sentences that come before or after. Using the context clues, try to determine the meaning of the unfamiliar word. Try out the meaning in the original sentence to check whether or not it makes sense. Students must also be taught the meaningful parts of words and how to use those parts to determine the meaning of unknown words they encounter while reading independently. Those meaningful parts are known as morphemes. Morphemes include root or base words, Greek or Latin roots, and affixes, which are prefixes and suffixes. To prepare students to use morphemes in determining word meaning, you may use strategies such as dividing compound words, creating word webs for root words, and using a foldable flipbook to break words into morphemes and assigning meaning to each part. Dictionaries are not meant to be used as a first step in identifying the meaning of an unknown word. A dictionary should be used during the reading to clarify word meanings derived from context and morphology. Again, students must be explicitly taught the skills they need to be successful in using the dictionary. Dictionary use usually begins in second grade once students have been successful in skills such as alphabetizing, using guide words, spelling, categorizing, and finding context clues. Explicit instruction has proven to be an effective way for students to acquire vocabulary knowledge. Researchers suggest direct instruction of carefully selected words should be utilized over the use of long lists of words with definitions. A three-tier approach should be taken in determining which words are explicitly taught in your classroom. We will discuss the basic vocabulary routine next in our presentation. But first, other direct explicit instruction tools can include the Frayer model. The Frayer model is a four-square-based graphic organizer used to prompt students to think about and describe the meaning of a word or concept by defining the term, describing its essential characteristics, providing examples of the idea, and offering non-examples of the idea. Marzano's six-step process provides teachers with an explicit step to use when introducing academic vocabulary. Now, let's examine the steps of an explicit vocabulary routine. This routine pulls out vocabulary before reading a text. First, say the word, pronounce the word clearly, discuss the pronunciation of the word, and give students an opportunity to practice pronouncing the word. The teacher may have students do this by telling their partner, or the teacher picks teams and has girls and then boys pronounce the words, or other engagement strategies. Next, give the students a student-friendly definition of the word that includes the word in terms that they will understand. You may choose to use an anchor chart to record this definition for the class. Third, provide students with a graphic or picture to demonstrate the word's meaning. This context will allow you to tap into students' schema. Next, act out the word. If applicable, give a hand motion, facial expression, tone, or action for students to use. Allow students to practice the action with a partner. For step 5, review word meanings and act out the words one more time before reading the story. If applicable, put words up on the word wall and refer back to them for the rest of the week. Now you are ready to read connected text. Point out the explicitly taught words as they come up and check for students' understanding as you encounter these new words. After initial explicit instruction, review vocabulary words daily using an array of activities. Review words, meanings, act them out, use them in a sentence. You may choose to use partners or a whole group. You can then provide a closed reading passage using vocabulary words. Students will fill in the blanks with correct vocabulary word. You may also want to review synonyms or antonyms of the words. You may engage the students by using practice games or activities using the word wall. You may also choose to use vocabulary words in a center activity. The Mississippi Department of Education would like to thank you for spending your time with us today as we discussed our October Literacy Focus of the Month, Vocabulary. Please feel free to discuss this webinar with your peers. Please use the provided links to access available additional resources for vocabulary and other components of reading using the Strong Readers equals Strong Leaders website as noted here. Here is our contact information should you need further information about this presentation. Now, let's get ready to see an explicit vocabulary routine in action.
Hi, my name is Hillary Sapansky and I work with the Mississippi Department of Education as a literacy coach. This month's elementary literacy focus is vocabulary instruction. Explicit vocabulary instruction is essential not only in the literacy block, but also across all content areas. Explicit vocabulary instruction not only increases a student's comprehension of a text, but it advances the student's use of language, both orally and in his or her writing. In a moment, you will view a model lesson of an explicit vocabulary routine. A perfect time to teach explicit vocabulary is before a read aloud or the text of the week. Pull out Tier 2 or Tier 3 vocabulary words from the text ahead of time and introduce the words to the students. Tier 2 words are high-frequency words for mature language speakers that are more commonly used in writing and text than everyday conversation, such as the word frightened or shivered. Tier 3 words are content-specific, such as addition, geography, or habitat. For the explicit vocabulary routine, you first say the word, pronounce it clearly, and give students an opportunity to practice. After pronouncing the word, as a class, skywrite the word. Next, give a student-friendly definition. You can have definitions available on an anchor chart, in a presentation, or even your word wall, but have it accessible for students to reference. In partners, students can tell each other the meaning of the word for repetition. Then, if applicable, provide students with either a picture or a graphic to further help students comprehend the word's meaning. Make sure you say the word as you use it in this additional context. Following, add an additional context as you act out the word. It could be a hand motion, facial expression, tone, or an action for students to mimic. Students can practice their signals with each other, and you can informally assess them as they produce the meaning when you review whole group. This, along with a picture or graphic, helps retain student memory and reaches multiple types of learners. Last, dive into the read aloud or text. When a vocabulary word pops up, make note of it. Students can act it out, explain how it's used in a sentence, or identify the context clues. All right, so this week we are reading the story Dragons Love Tacos. Now, before we read our story, we're going to learn some key vocabulary words. So, our first vocabulary word is sizzling. Class, say sizzling.
Sizzling.
Quietly tell your partner sizzling. Sizzling. All right, now we're going to skywrite the word sizzling. So everyone put your hand up and you're going to repeat after me. S.
S.
I. Z.
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 L.
L.
I. N.
N.
G.
G.
And that's sizzling. So sizzling is a hissing sound when you're cooking or frying, and usually it's when the food is very hot. So sizzling is a hissing sound when cooking or frying. Quickly tell your partner what sizzling is. Go.
Sizzling is
3, 2, 1. Eyes on me. Now, our hand signal. Whenever you hear the word sizzling, I want you to go like this. Because this is the sound that sizzling makes. So let me see it. Sizzling. Show your partner sizzling. Awesome. So when we read our story today and I say the word sizzling, you're going to go? Awesome. Our next word is speck.
Speck.
All right, let's skywrite. Hands up. Ready, go. S, P, E, C, K. Speck. All right, speck is a tiny spot. A tiny spot. So tell your partner what a speck is. Go. Oh, super quick. Now, a speck is a tiny spot. So I want you to make a little circle with your finger and kind of look like you're looking in close. This is a speck. So when we hear the word speck in our story, what are we going to do? We're going to go like this. Yeah, I see you guys looking really closely at a little speck. It's a tiny, tiny spot. Like sometimes you might have a speck on a shirt, or you might get, a speck of paint on a shirt, or a speck of dirt on your pants. That is speck. Our next word, host.
Host.
Let's skywrite it. Ready, go. H, O, S, T, host. So a host, so there's kind of two meanings of host. Host actually as a verb, as an action, is when you hold an event or you hold a party. Make sure your hands are in your lap. Crisscross applesauce, Bobby. Hands in your lap. Don't worry about your shoelaces right now. It is also the person who has a party or event, okay? So I have our little friend right here. He's waving and he has some tacos. He's holding some tacos and going to give it to all of his guests, okay? So a host is someone who holds a party or when you have a party. So quietly tell your partner what a host is. Go. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, when I saw Jamari, when he was done, he went right back to his crisscross applesauce and his hands in his lap. Awesome. Now, we're going to model, like our friend right here, when we hear the word host, you're going to, be waving and you're going to pretend like you're holding some tacos. So when you hear the word host, what are you going to do? Let me see. Very good. Okay, our next word, decorations.
Decoration.
Tell your partner decorations. That's a big word. Now, this is a big word to skywrite. Make sure I'm going to do it and then you're going to do it. So let me say the letter first and then you, okay? D. E. C. O. R. A. T. I. O. N. S. Decoration. Say decorations one more time.
Decoration.
All right, so a decoration is something that you add to something else, like a room, to make it more festive or attractive. And just like you said, yeah, like a party. When you have decorations at a party, raise your hand, don't call out. What are some decorations or things that you might find? Denilah? You might give me a complete sentence. You can find party hats. What's another decoration you can find at a party? Caleb? You can find party balloons. And one more, Dalen?
Decorate your house.
Okay, you can decorate your house. Now, you gave me the word as a verb, as an action. You can decorate your house. What could you decorate your house with? Let's see, what's something that you might put up in your room or in your family room? Maybe something that's on the walls.
Paint.
Okay, so you can decorate your house with paint. You can do that. Okay, we're going to move on because I want to make sure we have time. It's okay, Holdy. You can tell me later, okay? Or you can do it in one of your activities. All right, so decorations. When we think of decorations and when we hear in the story, you're going to pretend that you're putting up decorations on the wall, okay? So pretend, or you can pretend, you're blowing up a balloon, but you're getting ready for a party. That's what decorations is. So show your partner you're getting ready for decoration. I knew the balloon was going to go over well. Okay, show your partner. In 3, 2, 1. Let me do a check. Crisscross applesauce, hands in your laps. Oh, look at you. All right, our last one. Fine. Let's skywrite it. Ready, go. F. Me first. So we're going to do it again. F. I. N. E. Now, we use this word fine all the time, but we actually are using it in a different way. When someone asks you, how are you? Many times you all generally say, I'm fine. but this is a different fine, okay? This fine means very small or thin, okay? And so sometimes we might refer to hair as being fine, or if there's really, really small print, like on a can, we might consider it fine. So fine means very small or thin. Please turn to your partner and tell them what fine means. Go. All right, awesome. So, if you look down here, can anyone see the fine print that can says?
Yes.
Ariel, what does it say? It says spicy. I think that's kind of a hint about what the story is going to be about. So, when we're going to see the word fine, it's going to be similar to speck, but remember, speck is going to be a circle, it's a spot. But fine, we're going to go like this, fine. So it's kind of small and thin. All right, so I'm going to do a little quiz to see if we remember all of our meanings, okay? So you're going to show me the hand movements, and then I'll know that we're ready to read our story. So, show me sizzling. How about speck? Host. Let me see, you have your tacos, you're waving, awesome. How about the word fine? You want to keep it small, yes, fine, and decorations. Awesome, are you ready to read our story? All right, here we go. All right, so now we're going to dive into our story, Dragons Love Tacos. And when we read this story today, we're going to be thinking about what's the major lesson of this story. So think about, what's the big lesson we're going to take away from this story? And it's a pretty silly one, too. Our author is Adam Rubin, and it's illustrated by Daniel Salmieri. Can you all remind me, what does the author do? Raise your hand, don't call out. Someone I haven't heard from. Joaquin, what, and loud and proud, what does an author do? Write the story. And do we think this is a real story?
No.
No? Why don't you think it's real, Jakaya? Because dragons don't eat tacos. What's another reason why this story may not be real? Malik, why isn't this story real? Dinosaurs or dragons may not be able to have a party. And one more thing. Why is this story not real, Madison?
Dragons can't talk.
Dragons can't talk. And do we have dragons?
No.
No. Okay, here we go. Dragons love tacos. Hey, kid, did you know that dragons love tacos? They love beef tacos and chicken tacos. They love really big, gigantic tacos and tiny little baby tacos as well. What could be another word for little here? Tiny.
Small.
Small. What's one of our words that we use? Denilah? We could use speck. And we even could use what word? Fine. All right. We're going to see them, though, in the story. Why do dragons love tacos? Maybe it's the smell from the sizzling pan. Oh! Maybe it's the crunch of the crispy tortillas. Maybe it's a secret. Either way, if you want to make friends with dragons, tacos are key. Hey, dragon, why do you guys love tacos so much? But wait, as much as dragons love tacos, they hate spicy salsa even more. They hate spicy green salsa and spicy red salsa. They hate spicy chunky salsa and spicy smooth salsa. If the salsa is spicy at all, dragons can't stand it. You saw the spicy salsa. I think that's going to be connected to one of our words. Why do dragons hate spicy salsa? Well, just one drop of hot sauce makes a dragon's ears smoke. Just one single speck. Show me a speck. Show me what it looks like, Jamaria. Let me see. Very good. Just one single speck of hot pepper makes a dragon snort sparks. Spicy salsa even gives dragons the tummy troubles. And when dragons get the tummy troubles, oh boy. So in this story, what is Speck referring to? What is Speck referring to? And I want you to give me a complete sentence. Make sure you think about it. What is Speck referring to here? Madison?
A little dot.
A little dot. And a speck of what? What can dragons not have a speck of? Devontae? Dragons cannot have a speck of hot sauce. And I love your complete sentence. Yes. What happens if they have even a speck of spicy salsa? Ty? Nice and loud. Their ears, yeah, they'll have smoke come out, and also what might happen? Tummy troubles. If you want to make tacos for dragons, keep the toppings mild. Tomatoes, lettuce, cheese, these are all good toppings for tacos for dragons. Hey dragon, how do you feel about spicy taco toppings? He's like, oh no, not even a speck of it. Dragons love parties. They like costume parties and pool parties. They like big, gigantic parties with accordions and tiny little parties with charades. Why do dragons love parties? Maybe it's the conversation. Maybe it's the dancing. Maybe it's the comforting sound of good friends' laughter. The only thing dragons love more than parties or tacos is taco parties. Taco parties are parties with lots of tacos. If you want to have some dragons over for a taco party, you'll need to get buckets of tacos, pant loads of tacos. The best way to judge is to get a boat and fill the boat with tacos. That's about how many tacos dragons need for a taco party. After all, dragons love tacos. Hey dragon, are you excited for the big taco party? What is this dragon doing on this page? How do we know that he's excited for the taco party? Trishana?
He got his pen and he circled the day when they gonna have a party for tacos.
Yeah, he's excited. He's marking on his calendar because he wants to make sure he is there. Wow. Just remember, what do dragons hate? Spicy salsa. I see a vocabulary word coming. Get ready. Before you host your taco party with dragons, show me what a host. Show me how you host your party. Got your tacos and you're waving, you're welcoming everyone in. All right, thank you. Make sure before you host your party, get rid of all the spicy salsa. In fact, bury the spicy salsa in the backyard so the dragons can't find it. The dragons love your taco party. They love the music. They love the decorations. Let me see your decorations. They especially love the tacos. Congratulations. Now, what sort of decorations do you see in this picture? Think about it. What are some things that you see? There's one very special decoration that I seem to see a lot of. Let me see someone I haven't heard from yet. Nikayla?
Taco.
What kind of tacos do you see? Not yet, but what kind of tacos? So there's a kind of decoration. There are tons of tacos, but there's a specific kind of taco. Do you see it?
Yes.
Who wants to help Nikayla out? What? There's something that's like a taco. Dalen?
Taco party.
It's a taco party, but what kind of decoration, Jada?
Taco balloons.
Taco balloons. There are taco balloons. So, of course, the dragons love the decorations because they have taco balloons. Very good. Pat yourself on the back. All right, we're almost done. It's a good thing you got rid of all that spicy. Wait a second. What are those little green things in the salsa? We can call those what?
Specks.
Specks. Here we go. Wait a second. What are those little green things in the salsa? You didn't read the fine print. Show me fine. You didn't read the fine print? Uh-oh. The fine print says, now with spicy jalapeno peppers. Uh-oh, he's in for it.
Trouble.
What do you think is going to happen next? Raise your hand. Actually, you know what? Quickly tell your partner, what do you think is going to happen? Whisper, what do you think is going to happen? 3, 2, 1. I heard some good predictions. Let me see. Bobby, what do you think is going to happen? The dragons are going to eat the spicy salsa, and what do you think is going to happen if the dragons eat the spicy salsa? Joaquin? Some fire's going to come out. Ooh. Uh-oh. He should have read the fine print, and he should have looked at those green little specks. Uh-oh. No more. On the page before, we had all of those taco balloons. We had decorations, and now, are the decorations still there? No more decorations. Why would dragons help you rebuild your home? Maybe they're good Samaritans. Maybe they feel bad for wrecking it. Maybe they're just in it for the taco breaks. After all, dragons love tacos. All right, so there we go. So let's just review one more time. Show me sizzling. Show me a speck. Show me a host. You're a host of a party. How are you going to be? You want to be a good host. Decorations, you're getting ready for your party. And very fine print. What does that look like? Very, very fine. Excellent. Good job. After the initial explicit instruction, teachers should revisit the vocabulary words throughout the week. Students can review synonyms of the word, antonyms, and practice using them in their own sentences. Teachers can put the words on the word wall, referencing them daily, and doing activities with the wall to make it interactive. Teachers can also provide a closed reading passage, filling in the blanks using the vocabulary, and do an array of interactive activities. In centers, students can use vocabulary words to complete a 4-square Frere model, where students write the definition of the word in their own words, identify synonyms, antonyms, and either draw a picture of the word or write a sentence with the word.